If I take an example of an organic compound like an alcohol, ethanol, you must have heard. I'm going to draw its structure formula on the whiteboard. Ethanol. I'm going to draw the structure or molecular structure or structure formula. Molecular structure or structure formula means the same thing, where all the bonds as well as bond angle, since I told you last time the bond angle is between the carbon atom and its four single covalent bonds are, I've told you the bond angle, which is in your notes, 109-28. But here I'm showing you linear structure, 2D structure with 90 bond angle. Now if you look at this picture, the whiteboard will be exposed. This is a structure formula or molecular structure of an organic compound called ethanol. I hope you can see the whiteboard. You see the bonds present in it between carbon and hydrogen, between carbon and oxygen, between oxygen and hydrogen are all covalent. So mostly organic compounds have all covalent bonds present in its structure. Not all organic compounds, mostly. And this is called covalent nature. You know the characteristics of covalent compounds. There are some organic compounds which have covalent as well as ionic bond in them. They are called organic salts. I'll draw the structure formula of an organic salt. Its name is sodium ethanoate. It's made by a neutralization reaction of ethanoic acid and sodium hydroxide. We'll deal all this when we come to the homologous series of organic acids. But I'll just draw the structure formula of sodium ethanoate so you can see. Here I'm drawing the structure formula of sodium ethanoate. You'll see that all the non-metals present in this structure formula of sodium ethanoate has covalent bonds except the bond between oxygen and sodium. These are There are covalent bonds between carbon and hydrogen atoms, but the bond between oxygen and sodium is ionic. So this is an example of an organic compound which has covalent as well as ionic bond. And this is a compound belonging to the family of salts, organic salts, नमकियात. मेरे प्यारे लड़कों, पहला पॉइंट तुम्हें समझ आ गया होगा सबको, that what does covalent nature mean? So most organic compounds are entirely covalent in nature. That is, there's no ionic bond present in them. But some have. I've given you an example. We'll go into its detail when we come to the specific homologous series of organic acids. Second point is solubility in water. Very important, please understand. Students who are present right now are about 35 participants, very good. I expect you to understand what does solubility in water mean. Obviously, as a simple student, you will say that some compounds are soluble in water and some are insoluble in water. That's a simple answer. But why some are soluble? Now, since we know that organic compounds are largely non-polar, in class 9th you will explain what does non-polar mean. In class 10th I explained you, but I'll repeat. So there was a student of 10D now merge into 11AB, or since I'm teaching all 11 students right now, who said that polarity is a concept of A level. No, it's a very important concept of your O level. Organic compounds are usually non-polar. That means that the covalent bond present between the atoms of elements are not carrying any charge, partial negative or partial positive. And water is a polar covalent compound. Because if I draw the structure of water, not showing the bond angle, but here I'm showing the bond angle. I think it's 104 or something like that. The molecule is polar with a partial positive charge on hydrogen atoms and partial negative, this is a symbol gamma, on your oxygen atom. That is a polar molecule. The rule is polar solutes dissolve in polar solvent. Since mostly organic compounds are non-polar, that is why they are generally insoluble in water. But soluble in organic non-polar solvents like benzene or ether, this spelling. It's E. E-T-H-E-R. It's not other, it's ether. I'm correcting the spelling by mistake in typing sometime. So ether. E-T-H-E-R, not I. Ether is the name of an organic, not I. E-T-H-E-R. Oh, yeah. So it's ether. So organic compounds are non-polar in nature. They are non-polar covalent compounds, and they are only soluble mostly in non-polar organic solvent. This is a rule, such as benzene or ether, E-T-H-E-R, and usually insoluble in water. But exceptions are there. You will study that alcohols, due to their polarity in nature or their structure similarity, are soluble in water. But their solubility also decreases when we go into the series. I'll discuss in detail. But general characteristics I'm giving. Now the next characteristic is that mostly organic compounds, as you know, covalent compounds have low melting and boiling points. Now again, understand, my dear student, basic concept. This is a conceptual class also. I'll be asking you question after I've discussed topic 2. So be attentive. Generally, covalent compounds have low melting and boiling point. A student in grade 11 who doesn't know that what does melting and boiling point mean and how is it dependent, why some compounds have low and some have high, I'm revising for them. I've written also, heat energy is required to break the bonds present between solid particles because a solid melts, not a liquid. A liquid boils. So when the bonds between, or intermolecular forces we may call it, are not strong between the solid particles of a covalent compound, lesser energy will be required to separate them so that their physical state change from solid to liquid, and thereby they will have low melting point. It has to do with the intermolecular bonds present in a covalent solid substance. Likewise, if the intermolecular forces between the liquid molecules of a liquid are less, lesser heat energy will be required to evaporate them. That is, they'll be more volatile, easy to evaporate, and thereby having low boiling point. So mostly organic compounds, not all, mostly, they have low melting and boiling points. The reason which I have already explained in my notes, that is, which can easily be broken by less heat energy compared to your inorganic compounds, because they have strong forces of attraction. Since most of the inorganic compounds, if they are ionic, then the electrostatic forces of attraction between the ions are strong. Or if they are inorganic compounds, if they are solid and covalent, then their intermolecular forces are stronger compared to your organic covalent compounds. So remember, sometime in the exam you're asked, write 2 physical properties of organic compounds and explain. For example, a student answered it has low melting and boiling point. It will be considered one property. And then you have to give the reason why they have low melting and boiling point. Likewise, if a student writes second physical property, they are insoluble in water. You have to give a reason for that, for explanation. Now, the fourth general characteristic D is thermal instability. Mostly organic compounds which are unstable thermally, that is, when they are heated, these simpler molecules, they'll break down into simpler molecules when heated above 500 Celsius, which is considered not high, very high temperature. Compared to your inorganic compounds, such as sodium chloride, may not be broken down into simpler units, even heating up to 1000 Celsius, which is inorganic compound. So mostly organic compounds are thermally unstable. It means, what does thermally unstable mean, my dear students? It means they can be broken down into simpler molecules by heating just above 500 Celsius. Again, this has to do with their intermolecular forces or the bond, covalent bond, the strength of the covalent bond present within the molecules so that they can be broken down and reunite into smaller molecules. Now let's move to point F. Point F, the fifth characteristic of organic compound general is inflammability. This is point E, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting alphabets. E comes before F, sorry. Inflammable or flammable. It means these organic compounds can burn easily with release of heat energy, that is exothermically, if enough air is supplied to them. And they change usually into carbon dioxide and water. For example, I'll write a reaction which I'll be dealing in detail when I come to the homologous series and discuss combustion of organic compound. But still for example, there's an organic compound like methane. You all are aware. When it is burned in excess supply of air, that is oxygen, it will easily burn down, releasing heat energy, exothermic, forming carbon dioxide and water. Let me balance the equation. On the contrary, inorganic compounds like sodium chloride, calcium carbonate, they will not catch fire so quickly. Mostly they are non-inflammable, whereas organic compounds usually are inflammable. That is where they are used as fuels. And the last point, general characteristic I'm going to discuss, that is F, is the reactivity. You know that compounds which are very reactive, they will end up into fast reactions. That is, rate of reaction will be very high. Those which are less reactive or least reactive, they'll monitor the rate of reaction accordingly. So reactions involving organic compounds are slower compared to ionic reactions, which are characteristics, you know what's ionic reactions, which are characteristics of inorganic compounds. A reaction between sodium hydroxide and HCl is much faster than a reaction between methane and oxygen. So generally you should know the 5 properties, general properties, not that they're always true, but generally, mostly, the organic compounds are characterized by these 6 properties A, B, C, D, E, F. There are more general properties, but they are not a part of much of your syllabus. So I'm making it simpler for you also and very productive. So my dear students, I have discussed topic 2. Now I'm unmuting. You can ask me any question you want to vis-a-vis to these 6 points. Yes, please. Raise your hand and ask me any question vis-a-vis to point A, B, C, D, and E and F. I'm waiting for you all, otherwise I'll ask the question. I'm giving you 2-3 minutes. especially those students who have come late. There are right now 40 participants. Good. My dear students, grade 11, any question you want to ask me vis-a-vis to these six, if you're clear with the term reactivity, inflammability, solubility in water, covalent nature, that is not a property, that is the characteristic of their structure, or their reaction, their reactivity, whether they are fast reacting or slow. Because if you're asked in the theory paper, you are usually asked. This topic 2 is a specifically for theory papers. This topic is a specifically for theory papers. That is, sometimes you're asked a question. This is a past paper practice I'm also handling with you. Give two characteristics of an organic compound. You can give one of two of them with or without explanation, whatever is asked. In an MCQ, they may give you, for example, they say ethanoic acid has one of the following physical property, and they'll give you four ABCD choices like soluble in water, high melting boiling point, extremely reactive, and non-inflammable. Once you will study about organic compound, you'll say, no, none of them property is true, but the first one is. Because of its ionic bond present in the ethanoic acid, it ionizes. A smart student will say, Mr. Siddiqui never told that all organic compounds are covalent. Some of them carry an ionic bond, or some of the organic compounds are ionizable in water. Ethanoic acid can't be acid if it doesn't give H ions in water. When it gives H ion in water, it means it is soluble in water. So this is what is I'm developing in you. Please go little above, and you can only go little above in your concepts if you are attentive and ask questions. So none of you want any question to be asked. So let's come to topic 3 of today. Excuse me. Topic 3 is also very important vis-a-vis to your theory paper as well as your concepts. My dear students, as I told you earlier, that organic compounds first was defined as a compound which are present only in natural kingdom, that is plants and animals. Their source was plants and animals. But as the time passed and the world became independent scientifically, organic compounds were made in the industry also. So the new definition of organic compound I have already given you in my topic 1, that is compounds, is the chemistry of compounds containing essentially carbon atom or atoms. Right? Exceptions may be there some, as I have discussed earlier in my last week 2 periods. Topic 1. Now, the main source of organic compound naturally present is petroleum, which is also non-renewable. Here I'll tell you what is petroleum. 1L. 1L is removed. Here I'll give you the source of petroleum. It is petroleum is also called crude oil. I'm also erasing the spelling mistake made by me while typing, please. So I'm removing them. Petroleum is Petroleum, 1L. Petroleum, which is also called crude oil, and its source, it's one of the source of organic compounds, and it is a non-renewable source. One fine year it will come to an end. Now, the second source of organic compound is a marsh gas which contains CH4 in your around you, which is also non-renewable. Now we are coming to discuss that petroleum, what is petroleum and what are the uses of its fractions. Now if I read point by point and explain you, it's a theoretical topic. Crude oil is a mixture of gaseous, liquids and solids called hydrocarbons or alkanes. So the second name of petroleum, my dear, don't take petroleum as petrol. Petrol is a fraction of petroleum. The second term used for petroleum is crude oil. It's a mixture. I'll discuss first 3 points and give you a chance to ask questions. Crude oil is a mixture of, it's a homogeneous mixture, also called solution, of gaseous, liquid, and solid hydrocarbons. You know the meaning of hydrocarbon. Connectivity, topic 1. Compounds containing hydrogen and carbon. And which family comes under it in crude oil? Alkanes, which will be my topic 4, inshallah, on Wednesday. So don't miss Wednesday class, the first homologous series, alkanes. So if you're asked a question of 1 mark, what is petroleum or crude oil? You'll say it's a mixture of gaseous, that is hydrocarbons in the gaseous state, or in liquid or solid state together. And it's a brown color liquid, almost useless if not fractionally distilled. So the second point says, it's generally believed, how is crude oil formed? Underground. Now listen carefully. It's generally believed to be formed from the remains of microscopic plants and animals which lived once in warm island seas millions of years ago. So when they died, the third point will explain, due to chemical effects. The third point says the chemical effects of pressure underground, heat, and bacteria have converted these remains of microscopic plants and animals into petroleum or crude oil. So my dear students, the first 3 points, and it took years, centuries for petroleum to be formed underground by the chemical effects of high pressure underground, of heat and bacteria there, which attack the dead bodies of microscopic plants and animals and change them into petroleum, which is a mixture of gaseous, liquid, and solid hydrocarbons, a homogeneous mixture, brown or blackish in color, very useless until it is fractionally distilled. Its fractions are used. Now, how is it is extracted from the ground? By drilling holes into the ground, and is fractionally, it is taken out from the ground and then is fractionally distilled. So young friends, the first 4 points are giving you enough information of one of the main source of the main compounds, the basic compounds of organic chemistry called hydrocarbons, or usme bhi sabse basic, which are alkanes. So if a question come in your MCQ, if you're a smart student, I hope you're paying attention. An MCQ comes, which one of the following is an organic, is present in crude oil? A, alkane, B, alcohol, C, carboxylic acids, D, esters. Now, if you have understood and remember that crude oil is a mixture of hydrocarbons, there are many hydrocarbons like alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, cycloalkanes, benzene compounds, they're derivatives of aromatic organic compounds. But you know, you are specific in your knowledge, and you said it's alkanes. And when you will study in topic number 4, inshallah, on Wednesday, about alkanes, you'll come to know that these are the components present in gaseous, liquid, or solid state in a mixture called crude oil. So my dear students, I have discussed first 4 points. If you have any question over them, please raise your hand. I'm unmuting you. unmuting you. Raise your hand if you have any question on first 4 points. Yes, Ali Rashid.
Miss, you said that these
Assalamu
are.
alaikum, Ali Rashid.
Walaikum salam,
कर लेते हैं.
Walaikum salam. Miss, you said that.
I said assalamu alaikum.
Yes, miss.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
शुक्रिया जी. कोरोना से बचे हुए हो माशाल्लाह.
Yes, miss.
Very good. अम्मी घर वाले सब ठीक है?
Yes, miss.
Very good. Yeah, we have friends also in grade 11. No, I am very old, but I am a very good friend, you know. A friend in need is a friend indeed. हाँ बोले जी जनाब, अब सवाल पूछिए.
मिस आपने कहा था कि ये नॉन रिन्यूएबल होता है, बट मिस एनिमल्स विल कीप डाइंग, सो हाउ
बेटा इट टेक्स बिलियंस ऑफ इयर्स टू चेंज देम इनटू. अब क्रूड ऑयल के जो जितने भी हमारे जो है ना सोर्स अमाउंट है अंडरग्राउंड, वो एग्जॉस्ट हो रहे हैं, खत्म हो रहे हैं, और इसके बनने के लिए बिलियंस ऑफ इयर्स चाहिए. समझ आइए? तो इसलिए कहते हैं ये नॉन रिन्यूएबल है. अब पता नहीं कौन से 2020 कौन सा ईयर है, 2030 और व्हाट, जब इसका बिल्कुल सोर्स खत्म हो जाएगा. हाँ बिल्कुल बन रहा है, बनेगा, मगर वो बिलियंस ईयर्स लगेंगे बनने में इसके. तो इसलिए हम इसको नॉन रिन्यूएबल कहते हैं. ठीक है अली रशीद? यस मिस. बेटा जी ठीक है, शुक्रिया. एग्जाम में अली रशीद ये क्वेश्चन भी आता है, व्हाट इज अ नॉन रिन्यूएबल फ्यूल? तो तुम्हें ये कहते हैं अ फ्यूल which can't be made again and again, which is finite, which is not infinite. ठीक है जी?
Okay, miss. Yes, miss.
चलो शाबाश मेरे बच्चे. अब पहले 4 पॉइंट है. किसी बच्चे ने कोई सवाल पूछना है, जैसे अली रशीद ने पूछा, हमने कॉन्सेप्ट को क्लियर किया है और उसने देखा कि मिस सदीकी ने इतने प्यार से समझाया है. तो बेटा डोंट ब्लेम द टीचर इन द एंड. मिस शाहिदा जो थी वो पढ़ाती जाती थी, हमसे कुछ हमें समझ नहीं सकते थे. मैं बहुत टाइम देती हूँ आप लोगों को, और अब ये आपकी है कि आपने गौर से सुनना है, नोट्स को पढ़ना है, सीरियस हो जाएं बस, क्योंकि 2021 में इंशाल्लाह एग्जाम होंगे, आपके ग्रेड्स भी जाएंगे इन्हीं नॉलेज पे. अब मैं पॉइंट 5 पे आ रही हूँ क्योंकि जी जनाब, हु इज देयर?
अब्दुल्ला मुख्तार में.
ओके अब्दुल्ला मुख्तार, आस्क मी अ क्वेश्चन.
मिस, ये पेट्रोलियम का फार्मूला क्या है?
बेटा इट्स अ मिक्सचर. मिक्सचर के फार्मूले होते हैं. 9th और 10th में टीचर ने बताया था कि कंपाउंड्स के फार्मूले होते हैं, मिक्सचर के नहीं होते. इसमें बहुत से कंपाउंड्स मौजूद है. ठीक है जी?
ठीक है.
हाँ जी, मिक्सचर का तो देखो, तुम मिक्सचर कह दिया तो फिर उसको फार्मूला पूछते ही. चलो अच्छा किया तुमने अपने कॉन्सेप्ट को क्लियर कर लिया.
मिस्टर पॉइंट नंबर 3 समझा दे.
Not for mixtures. Mixtures are made up of many compounds, so I can't give you a specific formula for it. You can never find it any book. Okay, young friends. Now I'm coming to a point 5. तो जिन बच्चों का फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन के बारे में कॉन्सेप्ट अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है, मैंने बड़ा अच्छा लिखा भी है और समझाऊंगी भी. So please take due advantage of point 5 before we come to the uses of the fractions. Pay attention to it, my dear students. We are left with 25 minutes, rather 20, because I always release my class 5 minutes early. So the ghaur se sune fractional distillation. Now I'm just talking as if I'm a teacher of class 9 O level, catering everyone's need. So I'll repeat the process. It's a very important process. Fractional distillation is a process. It's a physical process, not chemical, number 1. And it is used to separate a mixture in liquid state, not in solid or gaseous state, into separate components. जैसे filtration है आपका एक physical process है, and that process is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid, not soluble solid. For that you use simple distillation. So my dear students, make it very clear in your good heads that if you want to fractional distill a mixture, its first requisite or requirement is that the mixture should be in liquid state. जैसे एयर है आपकी, मैंने समझाया था, वो गैसियस स्टेट का मिक्सचर है, उसको फर्स्ट हम लिक्विफाई करते हैं, फिर हम फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिल करके हम नाइट्रोजन, आर्गन और ऑक्सीजन हासिल करते हैं. I explained you before the holidays in my first online classes. तो अल्लाह की फजल से जो पेट्रोलियम है is usually in liquid state. It has some of the compounds in gaseous state which fume out of it, but under pressure होते हैं, underground है, ड्यू टू हाई टेम्परेचर वो थोड़े से गैसी स्टेट में हो जाते हैं, some of them in solid state, right? So that is why for fractional distillation of crude oil, first we will heat it in a furnace up above 400 Celsius ताकि वो बिल्कुल लिक्विड फॉर्म में हो जाए, in an electric furnace. Now the resulting vapors are carried through pipes into the fractionating column. I'll not go into the details of the industrial design, but I have outlined it briefly so that you get the concept. The resulting vapors are carried through pipes of different compounds in fractionating column. As the vapor ascends the column, जैसे ये gaseous vapors of the compounds present in crude oil, जब ये column के ऊपर चढ़ते हैं, they condense and separate into several fractions according to their boiling points. यही main physical property है which the fractionating column performs and separates the components or the compounds present into several fractions according to their boiling points. My dear students, you know that as the vapors ascend the column, those with a low boiling point will not condense and will reach on the top, and those with a higher boiling point will condense and will come back to the container or the furnace where they are heated and will separate it from the lower portion of the column. This you already know, and that I have explained also. The fractions according to the boiling points, that is volatility, lower the boiling point, the more volatile the compound would be. Volatile means easily to evaporate. So according to the boiling points, the compounds with lower boiling points will be separated from higher up the column, and those with the highest boiling points from the bottom of the column. If you are asked to explain for 3 marks theory paper, choiciest question, how would you explain fractional distillation of crude oil? This will give you 3 points, and sometimes the high achiever 3 points if you use my language and my way of explaining. I put it in my own words that how a crude oil is fractionated. That is, number first point will go for the student who write, it is heated above 400 Celsius in an electric furnace. The second point is the resulting vapors are carried through the pipes into the fractionating column. As the vapor ascends the column, they condense and separate into several fractions, not into compounds. उन फ्रैक्शन में भी closely boiling point के liquids होंगे in the vapor state. According to their boiling points, that is volatility, and for that I've explained you the compounds with lower boiling points will be separated. This will be the third point coming after doing the second point, which was the evaporation, and telling you according to the boiling point. The third point will be the compounds with lower boiling points will be collected from higher up the column, and those with the higher from the bottom or lower portion of the column. Now, my dear student, this will give you 3 out of 3 marks. Theory paper. I'm doing past paper practice also with concepts. Now, young student, the question comes in your mind, Miss Siddiqui, the fractions which we obtain contain one compound, organic compound, or many alkanes? I said fraction contain closely boiling points. अगर हमने उनको separate करना है, फिर हम refractional distillation करेंगे उस fraction का, ताकि वो separate compounds में फिर convert हो. तो first go में जो मेरा table जो देगा आपको under the heading the fractions and their uses as follows, वो आपको explain कर देगा कि कुछ fractions will contain 4 or 5 organic compounds, that is containing 1 to 5 carbon atoms. They are not pure, fully refined. If you want to further refine the fractions, refine means separate them to pure compounds. We'll do refractional distillation of the fractions now, not of the crude oil. Crude oil is separated into fractions. Each fraction may contain more than one organic compound according to their boiling points, close boiling points, based on the number of carbon atoms in them. So if you want to have them in refined form, every compound or more pure form, will do refractional distillation. This I have not written, but this is common sense. So if anyone has a question on point 5, please raise your hand. So this is very important. It comes in the exam repeatedly. If you have any question, my dear students, right now the participants are 39. I hope if you remain 39 till 12:25.
Miss, what does it mean that lower points will be separated from higher up the column and lower and the high boiling point
अच्छा
from the
अब मैं
bottom?
समझाती हूँ उसको. अच्छा मैं आपको इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोसेस समझाती हूँ. जरा गौर से सुनना मेरे प्यारे. इस बच्चे ने भी पूछा है. अब्दुल्ला अकील ने पूछा है. अब्दुल्ला सुने. अब्दुल्ला फर्नेस का टेम्परेचर 400 डिग्री सेल्सियस है. ठीक है जी. क्रूड ऑयल में आपके फ्रैक्शंस मौजूद हैं विद डिफरेंट बॉइलिंग पॉइंट. तुम्हारा कॉन्सेप्ट बचपन का है कि जो जिसका लो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट होगा वो ज्यादा वॉलेटाइल यानी जल्दी इजीली एवापोरेट होगा, वो जल्दी मतलब एवापोरेट हो जाएगा एट अ लेसर. बट 400 डिग्री तक हमने गर्म कर दिया इलेक्ट्रिक फर्नेस सबको. एंड जी अब जो भी एवापोरेट हो रहे हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर बॉइलिंग पॉइंट हो रहे हैं, कुछ जल्दी कुछ कम. जो लेस बॉइलिंग पॉइंट से एवापोरेट हो रहे हैं दे आर कैरिंग लेस हीट इन देम, राइट. इट मींस वो आराम से ऊपर चढ़ते जाएंगे और कंडेंस बैक नहीं होंगे और टेम्परेचर उनको गैस में रखेगा अंटिल, क्योंकि ऊपर का पोर्शन ठंडा होता है फ्रैक्शनेटिंग कॉलम का. तो उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट उसके साथ सिंक्रोनाइज करेगा, वहां जाके वो कंडेंस होंगे और वो सेपरेट हो जाएंगे इन डिफरेंट कंटेनर्स. इंडस्ट्रियल डिजाइन जो भी होगा, जो हाई बॉइलिंग पॉइंट के वो जब ऊपर जाएंगे वहां टेम्परेचर कम होगा, वो ट्रिकल बैक कर जाएंगे लिक्विड स्टेट में वापस, क्योंकि जो कॉलम का जो द लोअर पोर्शन ऑफ द कॉलम इज मोर हॉट and synchronizes aligns with the boiling point of high molecular mass or high boiling point fractions. They will be separated from the lower portions. Have I explained, Abdullah Akil, clearly the concept?
Yes, miss.
Shabash. Good point.
मिस जब ये अपने सोर्स से निकलता है क्रूड ऑयल तो ये इम्प्योर होता है?
अब्दुल्ला मुख्तार पूछ रहे हैं मुझसे, क्या पूछ रहे हैं, रिपीट करें.
इसमें कह रहा हूँ जब ये क्रूड ऑयल अपने सोर्स से निकलता है तो तब ये इम्प्योर होता है?
बेटा इम्प्योर का मतलब ये नहीं होता गंदा, इसका मतलब होता है कि वो मिक्सचर होता है. यस, केमिस्ट्री में प्योर और इम्प्योर का मतलब अच्छा और गंदा नहीं है, खालिस और जो आम जिंदगी में इस्तेमाल करते हैं प्योर मिल्क एंड इम्प्योर मिल्क. नो माय डियर, इन केमिस्ट्री इम्प्योर मींस मिक्सचर. When more than one substance is present together, we call that substance mixture. That's impure. Impure means not alone. Pure means all alone. Clear हो गया concept? The one who asked me. तो क्रूड ऑयल जब अपने सोर्स से निकलेगा मिक्सचर ही है ना, तो इम्प्योर है. फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन रिफाइन और प्योरीफाई इट फर्स्ट इनटू फ्रैक्शंस, स्टेप वाइज प्योरीफाई करेगी. यानी कि जो 100 का जो मिक्सचर है 100 कंपोनेंट्स का, अब वो 4 कंपोनेंट्स के मिक्सचर में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. प्योरीफाइड मोर. Now if you re-fractional distilled, it will be totally purified, the fraction, into individual compounds. Have you understood the term purity and impurity?
जी मिस.
Yes, समझ आ गया ना. तो क्रूड ऑयल बेटा सब मिक्सचर जो है ना, जो आप शरबत पीते हो, जो आप you take Pepsi, they are all impure because they are not containing one compound. Good. This is the way you ask questions and clear your concepts. So my dear students, let's come to the last part of point 5, that is fractions and their uses as follows. आप जरा देखिए बेटा, व्हाइट बोर्ड की जरूरत नहीं थी इतनी ज्यादा आज के लेक्चर में. So I'm coming to the last point in the form of a table. जी. So dear students, here is the picture, which is in your book also. They have given you fractions and their uses, but I'll explain you. The first fraction, now you will understand that how the boiling point and the number of carbon atoms present in an organic compound monitors its position of separation in the fractionating column. The first fraction is petroleum gases, right? They contain, their boiling point is below 40. ठीक है जी, लो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट है, इसका मतलब है ज्यादा वॉलेटाइल है. और इनमें जो कार्बन एटम्स होते हैं, साइज ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल इज अप टू 4 कार्बन एटम्स other than hydrogen, because you know alkanes, crude oil is a mixture of alkanes. Alkanes are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are compounds containing carbon and hydrogen only. So when I say alkanes up to 4 carbon atom, it means in the molecule there are not more than 4 carbon atom, 1, 2, 3 or 4 alkanes. We'll study about alkanes in topic number 4 on Wednesday inshallah. So they are the first one to be distilled from the top of the column, and the use is, one of them is methane, जो आप अपने घर में भी use करते हो खाना पकाने के लिए. Methane for cooking and butane for camping gas. They contain 1 to 4 carbon atoms. So now the petroleum is not giving one compound, but a fraction. Fraction means जिसमें कुछ compounds मौजूद हैं. Petroleum gases में जो compounds हैं मौजूद, उनमें उनके boiling point below 40 हैं. They are volatile, easily evaporate, and they contain up to 4 carbon atoms. And the uses of the petroleum gases are I've given you. So it's a learning thing, but with understanding. The way I am giving you the concept. Next important fraction of crude oil is petrol, which you use in your cars, and naphtha. And it boils, and its boiling range. अब इनमें जो कंपाउंड मौजूद है इस फ्रैक्शन में, जो पेट्रोलियम गैसेस के बाद नीचे कलेक्ट किए जाते हैं, they can boil up between 40 to 130 Celsius. अब ये नहीं कहो समझोगे कि फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में एक एक कंपाउंड सेपरेट हो जाएगा. नो. हाँ, अगर पेट्रोलियम गैसेस की आप रीफ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन करेंगे इस फ्रैक्शन की, यू विल सेपरेट द कंपाउंड्स, यू विल फर्दर प्यूरिफाई देम. राइट? द कांसेप्ट है बेटा, वहां से सुनिए. My voice is very clear. I'm using Urdu language a little to make you feel more familiar and aligned with me. Not that I can't speak English. I can speak better English than Britishers and speak better Urdu than myself. What should I say? Because I know my expression is strong. It's the expression, not the words, which carry the message to the students. So my dear students, petrol and naphtha are also fractions which contain many compounds, and for them they boil between 40 to 130. It means they are less volatile than petroleum gases, and they contain carbon atoms from 4 to 12. So a smart student in my class right now will relate volatility of an organic compound with the number of carbon atom, and he can say with confidence, like Ms. Sadiqi, that the more the carbon atoms are present in an organic compound, the less volatile will it become, and higher will be its boiling point, because the intermolecular forces will be stronger compared to the more volatile. So this is a way you deduce and enhances your wisdom of the subject, which is very much required in the last year. And that is why I'm teaching 11 of boys branch from the last 26, 27 years. Because right now, not that I am forever, but the point is that I trigger your wisdom, which few teachers can do, because you need to use your wisdom to trigger others' wisdom. Many teachers do, but I'm telling right now I'm not replaced. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow I may be replaced, but I add this wisdom to my students. Connect things. So this naphtha is used for lighter fuel. It's used for, again for naphtha is also used for cracking, that is making simpler molecules, which we'll study later when you understand organic chemistry. I'll teach you the process
lighter
of
fuel का क्या मतलब मिस?
जी
किस
जनाब.
type?
जी जनाब.
Lighter.
Musa Rahman. Yes, Musa, what's your question?
मिस मैंने पूछा था ये नेफ्था और नेफ्थलीन में फर्क होता है?
जी अब फिर से बोले, तो ऊंचा बोले बेटा मेरी तरह.
मिस मैं कह रहा हूँ नेफ्था और नेफ्थलीन में फर्क होता है?
हाँ जी, नेफ्थलीन तो एक कंपाउंड है ऑर्गेनिक. नेफ्था इज अ फ्रैक्शन containing many organic compounds ranging. It's naphtha and naphthalene. Naphthalene तो different organic compound है, use as mothballs. Naphthalene को use करते हैं, और हम discuss करेंगे जब later when we come to organic. So naphtha is a fraction of crude oil containing many compounds in it, and it's used for lighter fuel. मतलब ये डीजल ऑयल की तरह फ्यूल नहीं है, लाइटर कैंपिंग गैस के लिए. फिर इसकी क्रैकिंग भी करते हैं हम naphtha की, to make simpler molecules. We'll study that. And petrol is used for cars. You can see on the table में line ऊपर आ गई. Petrol is used for cars as a fuel. high octane petrol and refined premium petrol. We'll be discussing this when we talk about hydrocarbons. So petrol is also a mixture of gas. Don't think petrol is one compound. It contains compounds ranging from 4 to 12 hydrocarbons, carbon containing 4 to 12 carbon atoms in it, and it's used for your fuel for your cars. The next fraction is paraffin oil, also known as kerosene oil. मट्टी का तेल जो हमारी पाकिस्तान में कहलाता है, लोग अपने चूल्हों में इस्तेमाल करते हैं जिनके पास गैस नहीं आती. So paraffin oil or kerosene oil means the same thing. It contains organic compounds with a boiling point between 141. Which organic compounds? Alkanes. Be specific, not alcohols. Alkanes, which have boiling point between 50 to 200 Celsius. And these organic compounds in this fraction contain carbon atoms between 10 to 16. These are alkanes. And this paraffin or kerosene is used as a jet fuel, and also used for cooking purposes. But usually the main use of kerosene oil is it's a jet fuel used in jets, right? Next comes diesel oil. The next fraction, please, is diesel oil. It contains compounds or alkanes with boiling point between 225 to 300, and these alkanes contain carbon atoms between 14 to 25 per molecule. And this diesel is used as a fuel for lorries and ships. जो आपकी डीजल कार्स है ना, आपकी आती है टोयोटा की या किसी की भी हैवी इंजन कार्स होती हैं, तो उसमें यूज होता है डीजल ऑयल एज अ फ्यूल, सच एज लॉरीज, जो आपकी लारियां और इवन आपकी ट्रेन्स भी कई होती होंगी, और शिप्स में. ठीक है जी, ये हमारी आम कारों में डीजल ऑयल नहीं हम डालते, ये डीजल ऑयल इंजन की कार में डालते हैं. ठीक है मेरे प्यारे बच्चों. Next fraction is lubricating oils. My dear, lubricating oils contain alkanes ranging with boils between 300 to 400 Celsius and contain 20 to 70 carbon atoms in them. So if you want, and lubricating oil is used for lubrication of machines and engines. डालते हैं ना फ्रिक्शन कम करने के लिए. लुब्रिकेटिंग ऑयल आप अपनी गाड़ी में भी डालते हो, ऑयल जब चेक करवाते हो. लुब्रिकेटिंग ऑयल्स हैं वो इंजन को आपके lubrication के लिए, ताकि फ्रिक्शन ना पैदा हो, फ्रिक्शन कम हो, parts of the machine can move on each other without friction. And you know the uses of lubricating oils. You run your cars and your vehicles, you have to put lubricating oils, and then it is used for many other purposes, such as lubrication of machines and engines. Now the last fraction important which you get is bitumen. This is also very important fraction. It is obtained from the last portion or lowest. It has the highest boiling point above 400. तो सोचे तभी हम इलेक्ट्रिक फर्नेस को above 400 तक गर्म करते हैं. और ये bitumen obtained होता है as a residue. It's also known as a residue, and that is the जो बाकी बच जाता है from the lowest portion of the fractionating column. And this bitumen is heated. ये तुमने देखा होगा सड़कों पे भी मेरे प्यारे लड़कों, with gravel and sand. बजरी और रेत के साथ उसको हीट किया जाता है, मिक्सचर बनाए जाते हैं, एंड इज यूज्ड फॉर सरफेसिंग रोड्स, रोड टार के तौर पे. एयरप्लेन्स के जो आपके एयरप्लेन जो आपके ये या ये फील्ड्स, एयर फील्ड्स हैं, उनके ऊपर सरफेस किया जाता है. रोड्स के ऊपर सरफेसिंग आप देख रहे हो ना, टार की हो रही होती है, लुक डाल के फिर ऊपर मशीन चलती है, रोलर. तो दिस टार इज मेड by in a mixture of bitumen, which is a residue obtained from crude oil, the highest boiling point fraction, compounds, alkanes. It's heated with gravel and with sand. So my dear students, if you have any question on the fraction, please raise your hand. This is all learning, and you get question, give a use of bitumen, 1 mark. Name two fractions of crude oil and give their uses. Very typical questions of past papers. And I have given you very good explanation, I think, because my student within me has understood everything. But still, if you have any question, you ask me, please. Everyone has understood, please raise your hand. हाँ जी, प्यारे लड़कों, आप अब 28 रह गए हैं, बाकी भाग गए हैं. जी जनाब, अमान बेग, you have understood?
Yes, miss.
समझ आ गया अच्छे तरीके से मेरे प्यारे लड़कों? बिलाल
जी
समझ आ
मिस।
गए? अब आपने ना इसको पढ़ना है, तो टॉपिक जो 4 आ रहा है ना, वो आपकी समझदारी इंक्रीज होगी विद दिस. नाउ आई हैव गिवन यू आल्सो होमवर्क. Do it for Wednesday, please. Take it seriously. Very less homework. I'll be checking it on Thursday. So I say you goodbye for today. Have a nice day, and I'll see you on Wednesday, inshallah, at 1 o'clock. Allah Hafiz.